Hey guys, this is SteelKidGaming here, and today I am back with another scripting tutorial. And today I'm going to be teaching you about Instance.New. Now, if you're creating any game, I'd probably say this is one of the most essential things you need. So why not let's just get straight into it. So today's gonna be kind of simple, I guess, to say the least. If you watched my uh values video, this will probably be a bit sorry, the instructions will probably be a bit easier. So just giving you a heads up. So let's get straight into this. So Instance.New is literally what it is. It's just Instance.New. And of course there is a bracket. Oh, remember that the new part of it is a lowercase. Now inside here, you could just kind of put anything in the object browser. So long story short, what Instance.New does is it basically spawns something in. So the way to do that, we would have to do a few things. The first thing we have to do is, of course, do the command. The second thing is we have to put it into a variable. And the third thing is we have to set whatever we're instancing. We got to set that thing's properties. So let's do those right now. So the first thing I'll do is actually do the variable. Now say local, and today I want to create a part. So I'm going to say local part equals Instance.New part. So let's quickly run through this. This is basically right here. It's just putting this into a variable. So technically this is actually, or in the future it'll be, this would actually be, sorry, game.workspace.part. That's what this is going to be. But because we need to do the command to insert it into the world, this is actually what it's going to be for now. So now this part right here, the variable part is now stored to a part. So let's actually we did the first two parts already. So now we are going to set the variables. Now it might be good to actually put a part in. Oh my goodness, that is far. But anyways, if you put Instance.New on a part, this is actually what the default part would look like. So in here are all the properties right over here. And of course, no, you won't have to set all of these. These are the default settings for the part. Put these in too. So the first thing we got to do is actually set its parent, because when you instance a part, the parent is literally nothing. So we'll have to set it first. Actually, it is set to something, but it's called nil, and basically it means nothing. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to say part.parent equals game.workspace. So what this is saying is that the part that we're instancing now, we have set its parent, and its parent is going to be workspace. I know, a lot of referencing here. So now this part, its parent is going to be workspace, just like this one. Now, these following ones, I'd say just keep listening, because I will go through how to do things such as the position or the orientation, things such as the brick color and the color, the material, fluxness and transparency, and the anchor, archivable, can collide, stuff like that as well. So let's start off with what I think is the most essential after part.parent, and that is its position, because you don't want a part just spawning randomly in like a random position. So what we have to do is first we got to reference the part's position. So the part's position is currently -1, 0.5, -33. That's this part's position. But we're instancing a new part. So let's say we want it to spawn at, let's say, how about right at the edge of the base plate. So if we go here, you can actually see that the position is going that we need to spawn it in to be in this exact same place is 244, 0.5, -248. Now, remember that the left one is the x coordinate, the middle one is the y coordinate, and the right one is a z. In long story or in simplified cases, left and right, up and down, and forward and backward. So we get now. This is why this kind of blue line comes up. It kind of changes the position. So this is another reason why that's useful. You actually just copy and paste it into the position. Now, actually, before you do that, you need to have vector 3. So so I covered this in my values video, but basically what vector 3 does is it says, oh, you are doing an XYZ position. Because if you just paste the coordinates down, it's gonna have this red line, and that means the script won't know what that is. It would just assume it's just random numbers. So in that case, we'll have to use vector3.new because we're using a new position value, even though there was none. So we just have to copy and paste it in here, and it will automatically fill it in for you. So now, if you run it, you could see that it's created a part. Perfecto. And just giving you a heads up, this is the part that we inserted from the studio. But this is actually from the script. This part right here was generated from the script. And because we set its position to that, it spawned there, not randomly over there. Also, we set its parent to workspace, so it's not going to be just some. So the part is actually going to have a parent. Now, the next thing so this actually works for all the vector 3 values. So position, rotational velocity, or rod velocity, yeah, just any vector 3 values. You just have to change part dot whatever this is, because you need to reference that certain property. The next one I'm going to do is the brick color. So all you have to do is part.brickColor equals brickColor.new, and then you could set it to whatever you want. I'm going to choose really blue. So kind of like part.position, you're referencing one property, and in this case it is brick color. And then we are choosing really blue, which is this one right here. So we just have to do brickColor.new because we're inserting a new brick color value, and we have chosen really blue. So if you run it right now, you can see that a blue part has come up. The next thing we are going to it's just brick color. So the next thing I'm going to do is part.color. So this is actually kind of similar to the to the vector 3 values. It uses 3 different numbers, and these choose red, green, or blue. Of course, you could also do some other ways, but I personally like just the normal color 3. So to do that, you just have to do color3.new. You can actually see the similarities here. So of course, color 3, it means that there's going to be 3 values, and we're inserting a new value. So in this case, let's say we want it to be maybe dark green like this. You could see that it's 0, 85, and 0. In this case, 0 red, 85 green, and 0 blue. So in that case, we just have to copy and paste it right in there. And that is color 3 done. You do not have to do anything else. So if we run it, you can see that its color is dark green. Or this one, sorry. So let me just actually switch this up. There we go, much better. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to cover, is the material. And this can actually kind of apply to other things. So in this case, I'm going to do material. So I'm going to go part dot material equals. Now there are two ways you could do this. But in this case, I am going to just do what I think is the faster way. So let's say we want it to be grass. All right. In that case, all we'd have to do is say, in quotation marks, grass. So if you run it, you can see that it is a grass block. This works with everything else. So if you want granite, you just have to type granite in here. If you want ice, just put ice in there, etc., etc. Now this is actually the same thing for the shape over here, the surface inputs over here. There is also the surfaces. These ones, of course, same thing. You just have to do part.surface is equal to whatever you want it to be. Now, if there is a typo in here, it will not work. So remember to check everything. The next thing I'm going to do is the single number values. These ones are going to be pretty easy, in my opinion. So I'm going to do transparency. So for transparency, you can see that is a kind of spectrum. And this goes from 0 to 1. 1 being completely invisible, 0 you could totally see it. So in this case, all we'd have to do is just put a number. So because I want it to be just halfway kind of transparent, I just have to put 0.5. And if we run the game, you can see that it is the transparency is 0.5. And you can see it. Still. This works for reflectance, reflectance too. You just have to put a single number. This also applies to these ones, back param, bottom param. And, all right. On to the next one then. The next one I'm going to talk about is, these ones. Now, these are called bool values, which means they're either true or false. So let's say I want it to be anchored, which means that it will not move no matter what unless the script tells the position to move, or unless the script tells it to move. So if we do part.anchored, all you really have to do right now is set it to either true or false. So because I want it to be anchored, I'm going to say true. So of course it's saying part.anchored, and then it's saying if it's either true or false. So if it was true, it would look like this. If it wasn't true, there wouldn't be a check. And if we go in here, you can see that the part is anchored, as you can see right here. And as you can also see, when I move it up, it does not fall. But of course, if I turn anchored off, plop, and it's down on the floor. Whoopsies. And I believe that's all you really need to know about Instance.New for parts. Let's say you wanted to do for some reason you wanted to insert a script. In that case, you just do Instance.New script. Now, you could go into script and see the parents. And of course, same thing, you would have to set the parent, and only if you want to, you could set these. Of course, everything is default set to whatever they are. The only exception is parent, in which it is nil, because it is for you to set. So, of course, it's the same for pretty much anything else. I don't know, just let's do a folder for some reason. You'd have to set the parent and maybe the name, all the stuff like that. So that's pretty much all you need to know about Instance.New. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have fun scripting. I hope I helped in some way. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.